Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to the Parent
Welcome.
Cafe podcast.
Woo!
We
We're back.
we are back.
And yeah, we're going to talk about more snacks.
We just couldn't give it up.
You guessed it.
But more of a focus on picky eating
Yes.
because I think like it's not even just kids that are picky eaters. There's a lot of adults that are picky eaters.
Yeah. And there's struggles with picky eating, like either working with children, if you're working with children who are picky
Mhm.
eaters, or if you're caregiving for children who are picky eaters, or you have maybe not now so much, but pre the C word, when you had like birthday parties and kids would come
Mm,
over, like dealing
yes.
with picky eaters and like,
Mhm.
oh, planning around just the silliest sometimes.
Yes.
But along with picky eating, I guess like more strongly would be like an aversion to a certain
Mm,
food. Like I know there are just like certain textures or like tastes that people
yes.
just cannot handle.
Yes.
That's a little more intense than a picky eater, I would say, but
I think that goes just to like sensory.
mhm.
And I think everyone has those things that they're like, nope, I cannot. I know I do. I
Yeah.
cannot. Those
I
textures
wanna
are
hear
not for
about
me.
those from you. We'll get into
Mm.
that.
Okay, we'll get there later.
But I wanted to ask you then,
Yeah.
like, as a mom, what
hmm
your definition of, like, a picky eater is. Like, what do you consider picky eating?
Um, maybe
Oh,
I'm just blessed that Abby will try a lot of food.
hashtag blessed.
I am like she's such a good eater, but I've worked with a lot of kids that are picky eaters, so I would
Mhm.
define it as they're not willing to try new foods.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think like so like maybe like they stick with those same things.
Mhm.
They're like no like something new is put in front of them, they're not going to try it. Something they've seen 100 times, they're still not trying it. Like
Mhm.
those kind of things. They're not willing to
Mhm.
try new things
So
or try
unwillingness.
things. Yeah.
Okay,
What do
so
you see it as?
I'm just gonna read the definition.
Ooh. But like, ooh, I'm wondering if I'm close.
I know, you are.
Oh.
So picky eating, also known as fussy, fatty, or choosy eating.
Mhm.
A fatty, FADDY, I've never heard of that,
Okay.
is usually classified as part of a spectrum of feeding difficulties. So it's, like we said, aversions. It is characterized by an unwillingness to eat familiar foods or to try new foods, as well as strong food preferences. The
Mhm.
consequences may include poor dietary variety during early childhood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that is by definition, which is like exactly what you said.
Yeah.
I think the really important part of that is the dietary, like not having what you need in your diet. Because
Yes.
I think like the most common in small children, I call it the yellow food diet.
Mm.
So
Yes.
yes, children are like carbs only.
Mhm.
So they're eating like macaroni,
Pasta.
yeah,
Yeah.
macaroni with butter,
Crackers.
cracker, maybe cheese, like cheddar
Mhm.
cheese.
Yes.
Yeah, so very limited.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nugget shaped like dinosaurs because
Yeah.
they can't they have to be shaped like dinosaurs. But yeah, so I that's like the one I'm most familiar with that I've like
Mhm.
experienced through like working with children,
Mhm.
and like having them for full days. You especially notice because like yeah, I like one meal time. It's kind of like okay, well, I kind of made a yellow meal, like if it was like pancakes and syrup, right?
Mhm.
But if you have them throughout the day and you're noticing too, like their, I would even say like toileting schedule, if they're not having like a good fibrous diet, they're also
Yes.
probably not regular.
Mhm.
So they're probably upset and like cranky, constipated, right?
Yeah.
So all of these things
Yeah.
are affected by their eating habits.
Yeah, and if they're not getting enough protein or enough
Mhm.
vitamin C or D, like yeah, all their
They're
sleep.
sleeping.
hmm
Yep.
Just and their just energy and mood in general can just all be
Mhm.
affected. Just
Mhm.
like I know if I just go and eat like fast food all day, or like if I'm just like, I'm just gonna eat pasta all day because that's that's how my mood is. I don't feel too great the next day.
No,
So like because I'm not getting like all those nutrients that I need throughout the day to keep my body going.
right.
Yeah.
Um, Also another really common one I notice, in children is, like, only wanting juice, like, refusing any other liquid in their, like, day. So it's like tantrum unless it's juice.
Juice.
I experienced that quite a bit, like, working with kids. Um, so that was a hard one because it's bunging them up as well, and
Mm,
then it's also just adding sugar where it's not necessary.
yeah.
So, yeah, that one's hard, and you can't like now I guess it's better because you can like put Mio in some water and it's sugar free, and then you're making like grape juice, but it's just grape flavored Mio water. But
That's what I do, and I call it juice. It's
oh,
like
okay.
I do like Crystal Light, and there's like barely any, and you just do like a tiny little squirt,
Hmm.
and that's our juice.
Yeah.
And like occasionally she does get like juice boxes and stuff, but
Right.
it's always like the ones with like the veggies in them and stuff like that. So she's getting a
Hmm.
little bit extra. Or
Hmm.
like we go out for breakfast, she has an apple juice or
Hmm.
whatever. Like it's
Yeah.
all in term too, right? Like if you're gonna do it all the time, it might not be the best, but every now and then a juice isn't gonna harm them.
No, absolutely not. Like,
I was that mom. Like I was a big juice kid when I was growing up.
mhm,
Like I didn't like water, so I drank a lot of juice. Now I
right.
have a lot of teeth problems,
Mhm.
right? So like those kind of things
Mhm.
go hand in hand. So now like when Abby, like I did not like her to have juice or like
Right.
pop especially, like I still don't. So that's why we do those like little squirt things. Occasionally she does get a juice and I'm just like brushing her teeth after. But yeah, like it's hard as a parent because there's other factors, right? So it's not just that can control it as much as you try. There's like your spouse, there's your
Mhm.
family, there's a babysitter. Oh, they
Mhm.
just are at childcare and they pick up someone else's juice because that's what kids do.
Well, and how are you gonna know?
Exactly.
Yeah, you'll
So
never know.
yeah, I had to stop being the crazy mom and and just to kind of let it slide out, and now we do just have it. Sometimes it's not like she gets, and if she cries to get it, she does
Mhm.
not get that.
No.
Sorry,
I do
there's no more
remember, like,
options.
you being a juice kid,
Mhm.
I was, I had the no juice mom,
Mm,
so I was Abby.
okay.
So, if we were out, let's say, like, my parents took us out as a treat to, like, McDonald's, I did not get a pop with my
Mm,
meal. It was a juice that my mom then watered down. So she was adding water to everything. So she
mhm.
would buy like a carton of apple juice, and if it was half full, she would fill it with water.
Mhm.
So we would like never run out of that.
It's
That
just
juice
a
lasted forever.
slight slight apple taste near the end.
See, I do that with like dish soap now.
Just fill it
Like
up with water.
when I'm at the very bottom, I just fill the
Mm.
dish soap up with water. I just dilute it with water and then
Oh,
it lasts forever.
that's smart.
But yeah, I got that from my mom probably. So I did ask, like, our parents are on our Instagram, like,
Yeah.
are our parents picky eaters? Or your
Mhm.
children? Because I know lots of adults who I would say are pretty
Oh,
picky
yeah.
eaters. Like,
Yeah.
to me, they're unwilling to try.
Yeah.
Um, and then are your children? So we had a response like the parent doesn't consider themselves a picky eater. I guess that also kind of depends where you draw the line of like everything I eat is pretty normal, and then, like, these foods are weird, so me not wanting them is not picky.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
think that's like the unwillingness to try. So you are being picky, right?
Kinda
Like if
are.
I go to a different country
Mhm,
and I'm going to try their food, even if I'm like, okay, that looks weird, I'm like, I'm going to try it. And then I can decide if I don't like it. So
mhm.
I don't find myself very picky because I'm like, yeah, I would try it once. And then
Yeah,
you know if you like it or not.
so the
But if you're
question
unwilling to even try it because of the look
yes.
of it, then you're probably picky.
So for people who say like, I don't like sushi,
Yeah. Have you tried it? Is always my question.
ha- what if they've tried it and don't like it?
Have try it again or try a different kind.
Like,
But
so
maybe
that's
that was
kind
my
of,
mom, like
yeah,
always pushing that. Try it again.
yeah, try it again. I know it does, like the more times you try something, you'll eventually just exposure,
Yeah.
you will enjoy it. But I think like that's kind of where do you draw that line for like an adult, right? Like,
Mm,
I don't like sushi. I love sushi. But
yeah.
like say
Say you don't.
say I don't, and I say like, yeah, I don't like sushi. I don't want to go to that restaurant. Like you're picking
Mhm.
a restaurant to eat at. Does that make me picky?
I feel like
Like
that's a
it's
tough one.
weird,
I
right?
wouldn't. I'd be like, okay, she doesn't like sushi. Let's move on to something we all enjoy.
But if you were as an adult, say you like sushi and your kid is learning to like foods and you take them there and they're like, I don't like sushi, are they picky?
Yeah. It
Like
totally is. Yeah.
totally.
But
So
then I always like you would say to the kid, well, there's something else on the menu that you'll
yeah,
probably like.
you'll probably
So
like
should we
the
be
yeah,
saying that
yeah.
to adults?
Yes, I do
Yeah,
always.
we're going to sushi, but there's
But
probably like there's chicken fingers on the
but
menu.
that's why I lie to people because
Oh,
it'll just be like, oh yeah, these rolls are really good. There's no like fish in it. It's just grilled whatever. And then it's like they eat it, they really like it. And I'm like, yeah, that's barbecued eel, actually. And it's so good,
it's
but
not chicken.
it's
A
not.
lot of I think like for sushi, like it's that texture or that knowledge of its raw fish.
But
But it's
and
like it's not always.
technically it's not really ever
No.
fully raw. The kids that so this adult is not picky, but their kids
Okay.
so their son doesn't like sauce.
Okay.
So and he also won't eat cheese anymore.
Mm.
So it's
I know some
cage.
adults that won't like cheese, that don't like
Yeah.
cheese.
And
Only
then
melted cheese.
her daughter is on the carb diet.
Oh, oh,
So
so two different, and
mhm,
that's the thing too. Some kids, that's maybe your daughter is all about the sauce, and
mhm.
then yeah,
Your
like
other
total
kids not.
opposites. Yeah,
Yeah. So you've got like a ketchup fiend
yeah,
and I just want a slice of bread.
yeah.
So yeah, like I don't know how parents do that. Like I am amazed because I just grew up in a house where it was like like
You get
eat
what you get.
eat or you're hungry basically.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I grew up eating like liver and no one likes liver and I love
Mm.
liver. I love liver and onions. I love like
My
I
mom
like
too.
everything. So I don't know, I feel like this is going to sound maybe bad, but like your kids will get hungry enough that they will eventually need to eat.
I
And
did actually learn that in school.
did you? Okay.
Yeah, they won't
So I'm
start.
not
Kids,
off.
no, no, kids will not starve themselves,
Right.
like they will not.
Yeah.
So like eventually it could be like a day they might not eat a single thing,
Hmm.
it might be two, but then eventually they will eat that apple or whatever that you're
Whatever it is you
offering. But I'm
wanted. Right.
not saying to like push it to
No,
like
no. Like,
like
I
oh it's
mean,
day three and they haven't ate, like
yeah.
maybe give it in a little bit, like there
Yeah.
has to be a flexibility.
I think I kind of see like, say you made like my mom made liver and onions and mashed potatoes, and
Hmm.
say I'm not having liver and onions, like
Yeah.
I'm just protesting, no. So then it's like, hey, well, I'm not eating. I know that my mom would give me potatoes and then be like, I want you to try maybe just the sauce from the liver
Mm.
and onion or like whatever. And I know she would do that, but I was
And
a
then you
hungry,
have the potatoes, so you would eat those potatoes because you know
yes,
you like them.
yes.
Yeah.
But I was a hungry kid. Like I don't
Mhm.
remember really having moments where I was like super upset not wanting to eat something.
Yeah. I think maybe it's how you grew up knowing that like what your mom made for dinner is what you get and she's not
Yeah, she never
going to
really
make
gave
anything
in.
else.
No,
My
no.
mom would make me like an alternative, like when I was like, I don't know, a little older. I still like I
Hmm.
just okay, anyways. I didn't like chicken wings. So they would eat chicken wings and then my mom would get me like chicken strips or something
Hmm.
or like make me something other kind of chicken. So it was still chicken, but it was just like I didn't like that. I only just started liking chicken chicken wings. So like that I don't ask. It's I'm weird. But But like that was an alternative that she would do, because it was like I've tried them
Mhm.
again. I don't enjoy them.
Mhm.
So like it's not like I was like giving up, or she wasn't like making a whole different meal. It was just like a small alternative, quick.
Right.
But if you're making like um a big like I don't know, like a roast dinner with potatoes and carrots, and
Mhm.
then you go and you make your child craft dinner,
Mm.
then you're giving in to them, right?
Right.
Like you're
Where
not even giving them the opportunity to try that new thing.
yes, where I find the simple solution to get kids on board with eating what you're eating is, first of all, make it look good when you're eating it,
Hmm.
because children are mimicking you
Role
always.
model.
So if you're eating something and it's like, this is so
Hmm.
tasty, your kid might put it in their mouth and go, I don't really like this. But then in their brain, it's going to be like, but I feel like I should. Like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
really enjoying this. So they do think like about the food that they're eating. But I
Hmm.
think an
Oh yeah.
easy hack is like you said, if you're making a roast dinner and you've got a roast, potatoes, carrots, let's say, I would add an extra side, because if there's something out of those four things that the kid is really just, I really don't want to go there today, at least you know they're going to get
Something.
nutrients elsewhere. So if
Yeah.
that means, if you think they're not going to have that roast beef because whatever reason you've experienced it before, maybe you make a side of beans, you know they like beans, then they're getting protein here. Like kind of play around with it.
Yeah. I follow a page on Instagram. It's called Kids Eat in Color. It is
Mhm.
like, I swear by it. It is so filled with information. It's the
Mhm.
best. That's what she says. Like always offer them something that they like and that's
Mhm.
familiar to them. So like even if you have a big roast dinner and then they have a side of blueberries,
Right.
you know that they're going to eat those blueberries, and then maybe they will try something else too, because
Yeah.
there is something that they like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said.
Yeah, and I think
Good
like
job.
eating in color, thanks. I mean, like eating in color. Well, I worked with really difficult kids. Like I was
Mhm.
a one-on-one worker with a little girl who was autistic, and she was 8 years old, so she like knew what she
Yeah.
wanted. Also nonverbal, so it was very difficult for us
Mm.
to communicate, but we had a really good relationship. I worked with her for 2 years before I moved to Alberta, and I she's in Ontario, so I don't see her anymore, obviously. But um, she had food that you knew she liked. Like there
Mhm.
was, and she had a very like good wide range of food. Like her palate was expanded. Like she ate like pastas with sauces and like sausage or meatballs. Like she
Mm.
enjoyed those things. They were Italian, so
Oh, okay.
they had a
You
lot of
gotta
that.
eat that pasta.
Yeah, but then like breakfast was a tough one because she really liked these egg and like sausage sandwiches that you would
Hmm.
buy, and then you can keep them in the freezer and like nuke them.
Yep.
Like they're those kinds of sandwiches. And she loved those, but she liked to eat them open. So she liked them like open
Mm.
face and
Yeah.
like cut up into pieces. Like certain things had to be done to her meals.
Certain way. Yeah.
So we had routines and food was good, food worked for us. But if we were interrupted by someone else, it was it was so hard to get that mealtime completed. So setting up routines for your children around food is probably like difficulties or not is going to be helpful because
Yes.
they expect food at that time. If you're consistent with something, so like you say, maybe they really like blueberries, so you throw a little handful of blueberries on each meal, like that's not hurting anything.
No.
You can have spaghetti and meatballs with a handful of blueberries. Like
Yeah.
they might really like that.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And you know that they're going to get something out of that meal, and
mm,
maybe they are willing to try a bite after that because they've had
right,
something else instead of
right.
fighting it.
Mhm.
Back to that page, she has, oh my God, I could go on for days about it. So
Go
check it out.
on.
um
What's the page called?
it's called Kids Eat in Color.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
it's separated by periods each word.
Okay.
It's on Facebook and on Instagram.
Mm.
Yeah, so she says like to always set like your daily schedule, like you have, so that it's expected, like they know when they're getting their next meal, and
Mhm,
like that you're not feeding them in between those meals, so it's
mhm,
not just like, so they get breakfast and then they know at 10 o'clock, 10ish, that they're going to have a snack and then it's
mhm,
lunch. So
mhm.
you're not feeding them in between, because then they're not going to eat at that meal time, right?
Right.
So then if they're saying I'm hungry, it's like, okay, well, in 1 hour it will be snack time. Maybe you can
Mhm,
have some water while you wait, like
mhm,
those kind of things. So then they
mhm,
are learning to be hungry. And it's just like, even like for after I pick up Abby, she's always hungry after I pick her up from work. So I give her a little snack and then it's dinner time. But she would eat consistently throughout. And
mm,
I've fed her throughout because I know she's hungry, and then she doesn't eat dinner.
yes.
So if I want her to eat dinner, it's like, well, you have to wait.
Mhm.
And that's, you're teaching them that they have to wait, right?
Yeah, I think the same goes for us too. I mean, like I am so hungry when I get off work
Hmm.
and I could eat my entire pantry.
Yep.
Like, but then I know I'm going to be cooking supper in an hour and a half. So it's
Yeah.
like I better stop snacking or I'm
Or
not
you're
going to
not going to
eat.
eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, adults are totally the same way. Like
Mhm.
Brandon's the same way too. I'm like, you need to stop. You're cut off at the cupboard because
Yeah,
we're going to eat dinner. Like I'm literally
exactly.
cooking it right now.
Exactly. Do you
So
have
yeah,
anything that you like just cannot eat?
that I cannot eat.
Yeah. Like,
I don't like mussels.
oh, okay.
Like it's like a lot of like textury things. I'm getting better. I used to hate like Doritos
Mhm.
because the
Oh.
texture. I know. I
I
don't
just
know.
don't like
It-
the taste of Doritos.
maybe that's it too. Because I'm like other kinds. I'm okay a little bit
Mhm,
with like Tostitos and stuff like that.
mhm.
I don't know if it's the
Like, I'll
same
eat
exact.
Doritos if they're in front of me, but they're
I'll
not
eat
my
them if it's
favorite.
like mixed in with like taco salad.
Right, yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Mhm,
But I'm getting better with those because I've been trying them again.
mhm.
Like I said, I used to be chicken wings, mussels, like those kind of textury.
What was it about chicken wings?
I think it's the sauce. I don't like when there's a lot of sauce on things. And I think maybe like how you eat them.
Mm,
I don't know if it grossed me out. I don't really know. And then I was just like, no.
I don't
So
want this.
I don't want that. So I got over that. I'm just like,
Mhm,
I'm gonna try it again, and it's good. And I
mhm.
think when it is too saucy, I'm just like, I don't really like that.
Yeah,
But even on sandwiches, if it's too saucy, it just kind of turns me off. And
I'm the opposite, I love sauce.
yeah, like
Oh,
you
yeah.
put like a lot of
Lots of
sauce on
sauce.
there. Yeah,
Lots of different sauces.
I'll like mix sauces, but it's just like a little bit of
Mm-mm.
each.
Mine's too much of everything.
Oh yeah.
Like, at Subway, I'm like, extra mayo, extra
Oh,
like,
I think they put too much on. I'm
yeah,
just like,
they
just a
do.
little, just a
They
little.
do. And then I need more on top of what they put on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't think of anything else. Like there's definitely some things that I'm like, I do not like that, but I can't think of them right now. What
What do
about
you
you?
think about, like, avocados?
Oh, I like those.
You like them?
I like avocados. But I know that's a big struggle for a lot of people because
Mhm.
they are kind of like slimy, right?
Yes, yeah.
Um,
The texture's huge for avocados. I know some
yes.
people are also like that with, bananas,
Yeah.
and if they're too ripe, the texture is different, and then
Yeah, I've
if they're not ripe enough,
mm.
the texture is a thing too. It leaves, like, a film on people's teeth and
Yeah, I'm like that with bananas. There's a
mhm.
certain ripeness and then I'm like, nope, they go in the freezer.
Yeah, once they're, like, that perfect yellow, they're perfect,
I'm just like
but
just a little just
oh
past green.
oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Still a
But I
little
don't like
green.
if like a banana's in like a smoothie. I don't like that.
Oh, really? Well,
Hmm.
banana overpowers every
I think
flavor.
that's
Yeah.
maybe what it is.
So you're,
Yeah.
like, looking for a strawberry smoothie and it's got
Oh,
banana in it?
hate,
Yeah.
won't drink it. Won't
Yeah.
order it.
Mushrooms are a big one for people.
Mm.
We had someone, yeah, mushrooms, and it's texture for sure. It's just the slimy texture of mushrooms. So
I got one of those in my house.
I think for myself, so me personally, my only thing that I've ever, so when I was 18, I was in Quebec. We were at a buffet of some sort. It was like a school trip. I might have been younger. I can't remember. But we were in a buffet and there were mussels there.
Mm.
And I had a mussel and it wasn't the muscle, but it was what people were saying about it while I was trying to eat it.
Mm.
So I just couldn't chew it because they're like, oh, it looks like a little bug. It looks like this. And like, I was just like, oh, gross. Like I had to spit it out because I just couldn't. I can eat them now. I think they're really tasty, but the texture is odd to me, but I can get through it. So I'm
Ah.
not necessarily like enjoying them. Like I'm not eating them like, these are amazing, but I'm eating them like this is good. I just wouldn't choose to have it every day.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, I can't even get through it. Like I have to
yeah,
like spit it out. Like, and
yeah.
I've tried it like multiple times throughout my life, and every
Hmm.
time
Hmm.
I cannot. But
It,
yeah, I
yeah.
totally agree with the like, I don't want to say environment, but like the people reacting around
Mm.
you, that's gonna cause something too. So if
Oh,
you're at a table all
mhm.
together and dad's going, "Oh, this broccoli's gross. I hate broccoli." Your kid's
You're
probably not gonna like broccoli or have a good impression of broccoli.
like the amount of times I see that happen
Hmm.
with people, like you need to realize that all your kid wants to do is be exactly like you. So if you're out at a restaurant and you order a burger and you say, no onions, no lettuce, no tomato, and then you order your kid a burger and you're surprised by their reaction to the tomato that's on there or whatever else, you can't be surprised by that. Like they're
No,
looking at your burger and going, I don't want onions if you're not eating
yeah,
onion. What's wrong with onion? Like,
yeah.
you know,
You have to be realistic in your expectations. If you're not gonna be willing to eat it, then you shouldn't make them eat it
it also
either.
kind of makes me think of like the survival aspect that I feel like is super subconscious for people. But you ever heard of like um when a dog, so say you've like two dogs and one of the dog picks something up but it's rotten. So they drop it right away because they're not going to eat it. Have you ever seen that before?
Yes,
And
I
then
know
that
exactly where you're going.
that second dog will they won't pick that thing up because they saw
Mhm.
the other dog like
Yeah.
not do it. Or I've seen people pretend like they'll pick something up and then pretend to die, and then their dog is like, I'm not touching that, and it's just like a perfectly good piece of
Yeah.
ham, for example. So I find like that can be applied in the same way. If like you're saying no, no onions, please, I won't eat onions, your child subconsciously will be like, something's wrong with onions, I
Mhm.
can't eat those.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it works.
It's
Like
all role modeling, right?
it is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're willing to try it, like I don't like onions, but maybe today I'll try them and have a bite and like, not today. And then
Hmm.
maybe they'll try them and they might like it.
Maybe they like
So,
it,
and
yeah.
offering them, even if you don't like it, like Brandon and I both hate tomatoes, like raw tomatoes,
Mm-hmm.
but we still offer them to Abby. She doesn't like them, but she tries them.
Hmm.
But I don't like, ew, gross. Here's a tomato. I'm like,
Hmm.
here, try this. It's yummy. But like, she doesn't see me eating them, so it's
Right.
hard.
It's different,
It
yeah.
is.
You're trying, but
I'm trying, but at least I'm still offering it because
you
she does like cherry tomatoes, and I hate cherry tomatoes, but she'll eat those. I just don't like the texture.
Oh.
Because I'll eat like tomato sauce, and
Mhm.
if it's a cooked tomato,
Mhm.
and if it's like very small, I can eat
Mhm.
it, but
Mhm.
it's like that slimy
So it's more
grossness.
okay,
I'm
like
very texture, I find,
okay.
is why a lot of the time I don't like food.
Oh, just
And I
don't
think a lot of
food. Nope.
well, I don't like certain foods. Not all food. I love food.
I don't
Don't
eat
get me
food.
wrong there. Oh, I eat food. Don't get me wrong on that. I'm not too picky, but certain textures
Mhm.
is where I
Textures
go.
is such a hard one.
It is.
And I find
That's
it just
hard to
gets
overcome.
worse. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
gets worse. Like as an adult
You
too,
get
like
in your head.
and you're fully aware of the texture. Like
Oh, yeah.
when you have a child in front of you and you hand them a mushroom, you
Yes. Back
can
to mushroom.
say to a child, they're so squishy and yummy, and
Hmm.
you can kind of like manipulate what they're experiencing, right? Like
Hmm.
you can manipulate the
Describe
texture.
it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
describe it different. But when you're eating it as an adult, you're fully aware that it's slimy, it's like weird, you bite into it, it like expands under your tooth. It's just weird.
Do you like mushrooms?
I love mushrooms.
Okay.
I love them.
Yeah,
I
me too.
think they're so delicious. Like I eat them raw, I eat them cooked. Like I
I love
can,
mushrooms
yeah,
too.
they're
Brandon's
amazing.
the opposite.
Yeah. I like will go out of my way to put mushrooms on things.
I used to put mushrooms on everything, but now with Brandon, I don't use them as much, but he's willing, like he'll pick them out
Mm-hmm.
and then I just get extras.
Mm,
But if you cut them small enough, I can hide them and I don't tell him it's in there.
yes. Let's
And
talk
then
about
he
hiding things.
hiding, hiding food.
So as hiding food. Yeah. So as like illegal as this might seem, um,
Disguising is a better word.
disguising, sure, yes. It's not like they're deathly allergic to it. I'm not like hiding
No.
something that's yeah. So
Like here's some peanuts and you're definitely allergic. Yeah.
yeah. So there's things I hide all the time. So what I've been doing lately, I make a really good coleslaw, but I will shred apple
Mm,
into the coleslaw and it's super good, but
yeah.
it's just extra like vitamin that you probably wouldn't have gotten in a coleslaw if you hadn't added the apple in. So
Yeah.
I'll add things like apples. Or I make muffins, I will shred zucchini into the muffin. Once you bake it, you don't even know it's there.
Yeah.
So like there I'm just hiding vegetables and things and fruits. But like I've made chocolate zucchini loaf with like dark chocolate chips and just called it chocolate loaf and nobody knew that there was zucchini in it. So that's
They
fine,
don't question it. Yeah.
you know. But yeah, like sauce is easy because when you
Mhm.
cook something long enough, it starts to kind of
Just blend
disintegrate in
together.
there. Yeah. So like what about you? Have you been hiding things? Like
I think I would only hide like even like mushrooms from Brandon, but not really even like because
mm,
he's not too bad.
I feel like you could
Um,
smell mushrooms too.
he's just like he will like find like the tiniest little
Mhm.
piece, and I'm just like whatever, I don't care, pick it out. You're an adult, figure it out on your own, or give them to
Mhm.
me and I get more. So, but for Abby, I don't. But she's not picky. She will
Mhm.
try it. So, like I find she doesn't like carrots too much,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she eats other vegetables.
Okay.
So it's not like she's like not eating any vegetables. She loves broccoli, she loves
Mhm.
peppers. She'll try most things. She will eat carrots every now and then, but that's not her go-to.
Right.
So if say she wasn't eating her vegetables, but she likes pasta sauce, I would probably puree it, cook it up,
Mhm.
puree it, and then add it into the sauce, and then they're getting it, and it just looks like sauce.
Right. They wouldn't even know
They
at
wouldn't even
all.
know.
Wow,
So
I
that's a
never
good tip.
I always forget about pureeing.
Yeah. A lot of like when you're feeding like infants and stuff,
Mhm.
that's a good way to do it too, because then they're
Right.
getting it. Maybe they can't eat a carrot yet, but if you
Mhm.
boil it and then puree it
Right.
and then they're getting it or whatever. Cook it
Well,
and then
and a
puree
lot
it.
of people make their own baby food, and that would
Yeah.
be, yeah, the equivalent. You're just basically making baby food and adding it to the pasta.
Exactly. So, and then they get those nutrients without the taste, or maybe they get used to that taste a little
Mhm.
bit more if you're not hiding it as much with the other
Yeah.
sauces.
So I used to put mayonnaise on my pizza. So I would get like a
What?
like I still
What?
I shouldn't even say
Where?
I shouldn't even say used to.
I've
So,
never heard of this in my life. Mayonnaise on pizza. Okay, tell
what
me
about
more.
sour cream on pizza?
I can see that. I don't do it, but on some I can kind of see it. But mayo?
Yeah, so slice of pizza, any kind, and then mayo, and then I would put fresh tomatoes on top.
So you have like a Hawaiian pizza with
Mayo on
pineapple and
top,
ham.
and then fresh tomato on top.
No, the
And
mayo does it for me. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I guess you could do ranch.
Okay, but I think it's the mayo that throws me off, and I don't know why. Maybe I just think like mayo doesn't belong there.
I put
So, but
mayo
I
on
mean, I would
everything.
try it, but I wouldn't do, I knew a girl that always dipped her poutine in mayo.
Oh, I dip anything in
And I'm
mayo.
like, "What?"
Anything in mayo.
See,
Like,
I don't think of it as a dip. I just think of it like you put it on a sandwich. So maybe that's just where
oh,
like that's like it's like
you're
a spread.
you're missing out.
I might be.
You are. Like,
Am
I gotta
I?
tell you. Oh yeah.
Huh.
Like mayo on top of chicken breast.
Yes, I do that.
Okay. Mayo on pizza, amazing.
I'm gonna
Um,
have to try it next time. I'm just gonna whip out the mayo when we have pizza, and Brandon's gonna be like, what are you doing?"
the next time you make Kraft Dinner,
Yeah.
put a small spoonful of mayo in there.
Mayo in Kraft Dinner? Girl.
I'm not kidding. Like, it makes it so tangy. It's good.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Do it. Just
I'm
small
gonna
spoon, small steps.
I'm gonna have to go buy some Kraft Dinner just for this.
I thought you were going to say mayo.
I have mayo
Okay, yeah.
for my sandwiches.
Oh, yeah. I have mayo. Like, mayo is a staple. Like, I think it's part of every meal.
Really?
Yes. Like,
I'm
instead of,
not.
like, do you butter the outside of your grilled cheese?
Yeah.
Okay,
I've
so
heard you can mayo it. I haven't tried it though.
instead of buttering it, mayo.
I haven't tried
good.
it. Okay. See, but to
Delicious.
me, that's a sandwich, so it's okay.
Yep.
Burgers.
Mayo.
Yep.
Fries.
No.
Mayo.
But I've seen people do that, but I don't know why I can't get past
Hot
that.
dog.
I would. I like. I'd eat it, but I probably wouldn't just do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put it on there, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'll eat this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like mayo is good. But see, I get that with like people not liking sauce. I could see that though. Like maybe
that's where I come. I don't like a ton of sauces, like on
maybe
things. Like I'd rather like just eat like plain fries.
it could be like the European in me too,
Uh,
because we just love mayo.
and I think I just grew up with it that it's like a spread and it's not like a dip. I've never thought of it as a dip. Okay, well, I'm gonna try it.
Do you eat what is that other stuff that's like mayo?
Like the
Miracle Whip?
Oh yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing to me.
So Miracle Whip, not the same.
That's what everyone says, but I don't know why. To me, it's like, oh, whatever. Slap it on a sandwich. It's
because
fine.
you're just using it as a sandwich spread.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Miracle Whip is like different spices and not enough oil. So there's much less oil in Miracle Whip than there is in mayonnaise, and that's like the main difference. So you can't technically call Miracle Whip mayo because it doesn't have the amount of oil. Yeah.
People didn't think they would learn about so much about mayo on this podcast.
You know, it's funny. I like Googled that not long ago. But I know. So like when I had first met Levi, he was a Miracle Whip. So he grew up on Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip was on sandwiches.
Did he dip?
I don't even know if he used it as dip. I think he was like you, just like strictly sandwich type of spread.
Okay.
I definitely put him on mayo. He now is like me, fries in mayo, hot dog with mayo, pizza mayo. Like everything needs mayo now.
Maybe you just changed my life and I'm going to try it.
Seriously. I either like ruined his or like improved it substantially. So you can, try some of it and then let me know.
Okay. Sounds good. I can do this.
But yeah, like I think food aversions, part of me, so I don't have many at all. Like I said, mussels, it's like, if I had the choice, I would never choose to eat them, but like I can get through eating them. I don't have any textures that really get me. I feel like I used to not be able to eat tapioca pudding, but I'm good now. Oh, are you a no?
I haven't tried it though. Like,
oh, really?
I've probably tried it when I was younger.
Uh-huh.
And same with like rice pudding and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's like cottage cheese. It's those textures. But I need to try. Like I haven't tried tapioca pudding since I was a kid, but I'm not gonna just buy it and then be like, meh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But if I was at like someone's house and they gave me some, I'd probably try it.
See, I find like tapioca pudding is like lumpy. Like not lumpy, but it's the vanilla pudding basically with like little balls of tapioca in there. So to me, it's fun to eat because the like feeling of it is fun. It's like different. It's a good experience, but the texture for you is like similar cottage cheese, like chunky. Like you're describing like chunky, wet,
yeah.
Like where I'm like fun. I don't know.
But it's like what's that? Boba tea? How do you say that?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Bubble,
bubble
whatever.
tea.
Is it bubble tea? Isn't like
Bubble tea, and it has like boba in it, like the
okay.
little,
I don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Those are
Really?
squishy. Like I can drink like the rest, but I don't want the little bubbles.
Round, delicious,
Ugh,
fun.
gross.
That's just tapioca.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I think it's the texture.
Mm,
Okay,
mhm.
I think I'm picky.
I mean, comparing me and you,
hmm
potentially you are,
Yeah.
but I think there are much pickier people.
Oh yeah. Like there's people there's
Like,
definitely people that are just like I will if they go to a restaurant. I think of it as like you go to a restaurant
mhm.
and you're willing to try something new on the menu.
Yes,
Like as from an adult perspective.
open-minded.
Open-minded, but like
Mhm.
or if you go to a restaurant and you before you go, you're like, I'm getting the chicken nuggets or the chicken fingers and fries,
Yes,
and you're not even gonna look because you
right,
know you're not gonna like anything, that's probably you're really picky.
right. Have you ever gone to a restaurant, ordered something to like try something new, disliked it, and then did you keep it or did you say to them that you didn't like it?
No, I will continue to eat it even if I don't like it.
Have you ever had that happen? Like
Yes.
not like something?
Yeah.
Can you think of an example? Like I'm curious.
I think like I really like fish and chips or like fish sandwiches,
Mhm,
but
mhm,
I don't think I like them like when they're too oily and something like that. So
mhm,
if they're too oily, then I don't like it, but then maybe I'll just like pick around it or like pick
mhm,
off like the gross part. Like I'll pick through it,
mhm,
find what I do like.
mhm.
I'm also cheap, so I'm like I already paid for this meal, but I just don't like I don't like confrontation, so I'm not going to tell the waitress like I chose it. That's
I
not
didn't
my
like
fault
this.
that they didn't that's how they
That's
make it,
true.
right?
That's
Like that's
true.
not their fault that I don't
Right.
like it.
Your palate doesn't agree with
I
it.
exactly. I thought I'd like it and I didn't. That's not
Mhm.
their fault.
No.
So, what about
Yeah.
you?
So I ordered a sandwich. It was like a seasonal menu.
Mhm.
So like, wintertime or summertime, some
Okay,
some
yep.
restaurants will have like seasonal, like these are fun things for summer, these are fun things for winter.
Yep.
So it was like a winter one. So it was meant to be just like I don't even know how you would say it, like a feel good, like home
Home style
home
meal. Okay.
yeah, kinda, but like something that's supposed to make you feel like warm and cozy. Like it was kind of
Okay.
marketed that way.
Okay.
I think it was just like a roast beef sandwich or something. Like something like that had like was supposed to have a lot of cheese on it. Like part of the description was just like super cheesy, crunchy,
Mm.
like meaty, yummy.
Okay.
And so it was like it honestly, I read it and I was like, yeah, like I want to eat this. Um, and then I was just super like underwhelmed by the
Mm.
flavor. So it's not that I didn't like that, it's not that it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So my only experience with that is just like expectation.
Yeah.
So like what I was reading was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna come like bread is gonna be perfectly toasted.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cheesy. It's gonna be garlicky. It's gonna be beefy. Like I was just like ready. Like,
Yeah.
and because it was sold kind of that like, um, you're gonna feel like you're by the fire and like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So my brain was already like, this is gonna be so comforting and delicious. That's the word, comforting, like comfort food.
Okay. Comfort
And
food. Yeah.
so, yes. And so I was like, oh yeah, so pumped to have this. And so like took a bite. Obviously it tasted fine. Like nothing was wrong with it, but I was just so underwhelmed.
Mhm.
And it just was like, oh, like just
It's
tastes
not
like
very
a
good.
beef sandwich. Like I was just like really underwhelmed. And a person, we were there with a few people. This was a while ago, and someone else had ordered the exact same thing. And we had a moment where we were like, do you did you like this? And they're kind of like, not really. Like it was just very like,
Yeah.
and so I guess I've had like disappointing food experiences, but I've
Yes.
never like spit something out or like had like
Mm.
a bad reaction, I guess,
Mm.
to food. But yeah, I've been disappointed, but I guess like never like, oh, this is gross. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
I grew up on the Mandarin. Like, do you know
Oh, did you?
Mandarin? Like
I
that?
do. I
Okay.
love the
Do
mandarin.
we have that on this side of
No, I
Canada?
think it's only in Ontario.
Oh, okay. Mandarin was amazing.
Oh,
Like,
So good.
oh, I just remember they had these little Jello squares and the little cakes, like the dessert
Ugh,
buffet.
and so many options. Like, you, like, go
So
through, like,
many
one
options.
line, and then your plate's full, and you're like, "I haven't even hit the rest of them
I've
yet."
got 10 more lines, and
Yeah,
it's all included in the
yeah,
buffet. Like, it
yeah,
was
it's
insane.
insane.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
good.
Anyways,
So
apparently
if you're a picky eater, just go to the Mandarin in Ontario because 'cause you'll find
you
something you
options.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, let's go back to picky eating here.
Yeah.
We got sidetracked on mayo and buffets. I saw a picture on online, and it went to, um like, tastes and I guess textures and stuff like that for
Mhm.
kids. So
Mhm.
it was pictures of blueberries. It was like 5 blueberries, and then it was like it tastes different every time because
Mhm.
blueberries can be sweet, they can be sour, they can be squishy, they could be like, I don't want to say crunchy, but like more firm.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the next row was a cracker. Same cracker. It tastes the exact same every time,
Okay.
right? So
Mhm.
that's why kids are picking a cracker
Mm.
over blueberries, because every time they know what to expect.
It's
They know
consistent.
it's consistent. So, like, they know that if they're getting fish crackers, that it's going to taste the exact same every single time. If they eat
Mm.
blueberries, they're not sure how it's going to taste. Even sometimes I pick up blueberries. I'm like, this is sour. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I love them.
So the kids that are open to having the blueberries,
Yeah, whatever.
anticipating a different experience every
Hmm.
time,
Yeah,
they're just okay with the experience.
I guess so.
Like, yeah, I mean, I understand. Like, yes, I can trust this Ritz cracker to
Hmm.
taste the same each time. However, I have had stale Ritz crackers,
Yeah,
and that's been disappointing.
yeah. But I think, like, for that one time, maybe
Mhm.
that might not be so disappointing for a
Right.
child.
90% of the time, the Ritz cracker is
It's always the
consistent.
same.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It
you
it's
is
hard.
that why then they would choose those? That's what you're
Yeah,
saying? Mm.
yeah. Especially if they are like, being picky, like, that they know what to expect every time.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Mhm. That makes sense.
That is like the best picture, and I'm like, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I can find it all. We can pin it.
So we asked the question on Instagram, like, if you have a picky eater at home, do you deal with it or do you just let it go?
Mm,
So to me, let it go is like make them what they want to eat. They've got to eat. They can be picky.
yeah.
Deal with it is more like we talked about earlier. Eater, you're going to be hungry
Yep.
and at least give it a try. Like an honest, put it in your
Hmm.
mouth, chew it. Let's try.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so at the beginning, I looked at the poll and it was 71% deal with it. And then the remaining percentage was let it go.
Mhm.
And then a few hours later, it was at 50-50.
Hmm.
And then it ended on 50-50.
Okay.
So we had no definitive, like across our following on Instagram, it was just equal parts deal with it and equal parts let it go. So to those who let it go, good for you.
Yeah.
Like that to me is so much more work,
Hmm.
like creating extra meals and or like accommodating like a constant I don't want that. Or maybe you're just know ahead of time and you just are cooking based on what you know is going to happen.
But also sometimes it's not worth the fight, right?
Well,
For
no.
parents, right? If they know it's
Absolutely
going to be a
not.
fight and that's exhausting, that they might not be able to do that day, and totally good for you. And I'm that way too sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Do you know what? Here,
I
have this
honestly think though
because I don't care."
if you're able to like predict that, like the
Mhm.
picky eating or like predict the fight or predict like the struggle that might occur and you're able to like get a meal in for your kid that they like finish in its entirety and you
Yeah.
know A they're enjoying it and B like they're probably getting nutrients anyway out of what you're giving them because
Mhm.
like there's just nutrients in things that we're
Yeah.
eating. Um but yeah, like I think that's almost better pre-planning. Like it is because
Yeah.
you're actually like consciously thinking about what could happen. So it's like, okay, I'm going to do it this way because otherwise there's going to be a fight and I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But then on the opposite side of that, if you're cooking a meal for a larger family and it's like roast beef and potatoes and carrots.
And you have 5 picky eaters, are you gonna make 5 separate meals
Right.
or
And how does
whatever?
that look? Like, does anyone
Yeah,
go through that? Like, I want to
I'm sure
know.
people do.
Yeah.
I could not.
I want to know what that looks like because
Yeah.
obviously you need your kids to eat.
Mhm.
And I know like one day, whatever, if they don't want to eat, they're going to be hungry for a day, but like they need to eat. So
Mhm.
where is that like line?
Well, I think too, like they don't eat their dinner, but they know that they're gonna have breakfast that next morning. So like that
Mm-hmm.
expectation of that routine. So they're knowing no matter what, they're getting that next meal and you're not being like, well, you didn't eat your dinner last night, so you're not having breakfast, or you have to eat this dinner as breakfast. Like you're not, it's not a punishment
Mm-hmm.
because once you
Hmm.
make food a punishment, then that gets into a whole deeper issue, right?
Oh, yeah.
Food should be fun. It should be okay to not eat it.
Learning. Yeah.
It's a learning experience. It's not a punishment, like you have to eat
Mm-mm.
this or you can't have your iPad. Like what? There's no
You shouldn't have your iPad anyway.
exactly.
You can't have your
Right?
iPad regardless. So
But let's be real, it goes to that, right?
no, I know. And then so like, okay, so if I don't eat, I don't get to play outside.
Yeah.
Like that it doesn't make sense, right?
No,
Because it's like
because
you're eliminating so you have one aspect of health
mhm,
that you've now, taken away because of another aspect of health.
mhm,
So it's like you don't get to go play because you didn't eat your supper.
yeah.
But to me it's like maybe if they go play, they'll be hungrier.
Yeah. And then maybe they will come back in and finish.
They
Uh,
might.
I don't know if I was reading it somewhere or where I saw this, but it was just like someone gave their child dinner. They weren't hungry. They wanted to play. I think it was actually for a teen. So it's like
Okay.
they wanted to go hang out with their friends. They wanted to do this. I don't even
Mhm.
think it was food related. It was just like, oh, they had to clean their room. So I'm totally off
Mm.
topic, but it
Okay.
goes with food too. So it's like they had to clean their room, right? Like in general,
Mhm. Mhm.
your room had to be clean, but they wanted to go hang out with their friends. So she said, yeah, go hang out with your friends. That's fine. And but that expectation is still there that
Yeah,
you
I
need
still need your room
to
cleaned.
eat. You still need to. So are you going to fight with them and then they don't want to do it and then it just prolongs it?
Mhm.
Or you go let them do what they want, then they come back and they just do it automatically.
But I think that's where you're kind of going towards the child's actions or the things that they want to do as something that needs um, permission, I guess. So it's
Mm,
like, so it's a punishment. So you're treating like, you didn't clean your room, but you want to go hang out with your friends. So the hang out with your friends in your mind is like their prize for cleaning their room,
yeah.
right? Like in this situation, it could go
Yeah.
that way. So it's like, well,
Yeah.
you didn't clean your room, so you don't get to go see your friends.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is like going to see your friends is another part of your day.
Yeah.
The expectation of your room being clean is still there,
Yeah.
but not seeing your friends isn't um, punishment that makes sense for not cleaning your room.
Mhm.
So, like to me, if you have like chores lists set up with a teenager and they're refusing to clean their room and you have this chore list, well, then it's like, okay, well, if you're not going to clean your room, then I also need you to do this.
Mhm.
Like you're going to take the trash out because now you're just adding to this list of things
Yeah,
I need you to do.
that
But
you
yeah,
haven't finished.
but go see your friend.
Mhm.
But like when you
The
get back,
expectation is still there. Yeah.
expectations still there. I don't think going to see your friend is like reward.
No, it's
And
just like that's a normal thing. Like
the thing that
you
you
still
do, it's
have to get
social.
it's
Like
exactly.
you still
It's
have to get your
important.
social needs met. Like maybe their
Mhm.
social needs haven't been met. That's why they're unable to think about the other things that need to be done.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's what I think that went back to. It was
Hmm.
it was just really good how she worded it. I
Yeah.
butchered it completely,
No, no, you
but
didn't, because I got
but
it.
it was good.
No, you didn't, because
But
I understand what you're saying. Because that's
but
like
it
same
goes
thing for
back to the
food.
food. Yeah.
Hmm.
If they need to go, maybe they do need to go run around outside first
Hmm.
and then they will come eat their dinner.
Hmm.
But maybe offering it and then going outside to play just didn't work out for them.
Right.
Right? So like
Hmm.
maybe they just need that energy out first and then they come and it works
And they can
better.
eat. And
Yeah.
then
So
maybe
finding that
after that,
balance.
they're maybe more open-minded to trying something different
Yeah.
because they were able to go expend that energy and now they're
Yeah.
back and it's like, okay, I will try this new thing.
Mhm.
Thanks for letting me go play first. Like I needed
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. It's like, oh, yep, sure, go do this.
Sure. But that comes a lot with like flexibility too. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've got a rigid schedule that you're sticking to because you've got places to be,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
totally hard. Yeah.
yeah,
You can't.
then you can't be like, okay, go play outside for an hour. Like,
Yeah.
like,
It's hard. It's hard. You have to be
you know,
flexible and depend on the day, depend on your
yeah.
life, right?
Oh God.
But
It's
but
never
knowing
gonna
that,
be easy or perfect, like no
no.
matter what you do. But I think with um picky eating and like food aversions in general, most kids will outgrow them
Mhm.
and most kids change what they like their preferences change a lot, like quickly
Yes.
too.
Mhm.
um and like you might have a kid, like I think you kind of explained Abby this way, where she really likes healthy food. Like people would consider what your daughter eats as like a toddler to be a little like, oh,
I
okay,
have
so
to peel her chicken nuggets.
she won't eat the breading.
She won't eat the bread.
Yeah, there you
She
go.
wants the chicken.
Like, so it's like she's eating
Mhm.
a keto diet and but yeah, like the little mini peppers she eats,
Yeah.
or
So when she gets a cookie or whatever, some treats, it's not as bad, right?
yeah. And is she also like super pumped about treats, or is she just kind of like,
She is.
oh,
She
okay.
is, but I think that's just a kid. Like
Yeah.
kids are in general pumped about sweets.
Hmm. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that with life though, as they're getting older, they're obviously going to change their preferences. So if like your kid
Mhm.
doesn't like sauce today, I mean, in a
They
month they
might.
could be obsessed with sauce, and then you're going to find yourself putting sauce on everything,
Yeah.
and you're going to get tired of sauce.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But so long as like they're not, the difference between picky eating and like an allergy, like just to
Yeah.
know that that's completely different.
I
So
think
like,
to leave off too,
yeah.
this I'm going to go back to like please follow Kids Eat in Color.
Hmm.
It's amazing. She has so many like nutrition tips. It's just everything. Like it's life for me.
Hmm.
I don't follow to a T, but she's got some great tips. She says how many bites did he eat is what a parents ask a lot, right?
Hmm.
And then it should be how many times did we laugh at dinner?
Mm,
So like what's more important? So I just wanted
right.
to leave. That's so nice.
I think that's really nice.
Right? Like it's not about what he ate or what your child ate that day. It's about how
Hmm.
much you laughed and had fun. So
Yeah.
did he have 5 bites? Did he had zero? No, but we laughed a lot.
Right.
So
And the
that's
experience
more
of
important
supper was more
together.
important, and you were together having a good
Hmm.
supper.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And just then the situation is a situation they want to be part of again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah. Dinner
Love
isn't
that.
a bad thing
Yeah.
and a struggle and a fight. It's a
Sitting
fun
down for
fun time.
supper is not punishment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Sitting down with your family for supper is fun time.
Yeah.
So, well, ooh, that's
It's a good one.
it's good, but I feel like some people would struggle with that statement.
True. True. Fair
Supper
enough.
is not always fun for people, but
No, but make it fun for your
make it as
kids.
fun as you can. Yeah.
Hmm. Or
Hmm.
enjoyable,
Yes.
at least.
I really like that. Kids
Hmm.
eating colors. That's good.
I love it. It's so informational, and she's really good at responding to comments. Like, so
Okay.
if you comment on her posts, she's very good at
Hmm.
responding. So if you have a question,
Kids eating color. Cool. Well, I'm
yeah,
gonna look that up. I think that's
hmm
awesome.
I'll invite you.
I also eat in color, so well, yeah. If
Yeah.
anyone has any stories they'd like to share with us, or topics they would like us to discuss,
Hmm.
or something that you'd want to learn about, we can look for a guest to come on and explain like a topic you might be into.
Or if you want to be a
Um,
guest.
or if you'd like to be a guest, just let us know. So you can text us at 780-517-7055. You can shoot us an email, edsonparentcafe@gmail.com. You can also message us on our Instagram at Edson Parent Cafe, or find us on Facebook through the Town of Edson Community Services page. And yeah, or I mean, hit us up in the comments wherever you see this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening.
Sayonara, y'all.
See you next week.
See you next week.